And actually we got part of it done the other day, but that's a donkey. What am I supposed to say? Want to welcome you guys out to the Odd Rod Garage. Tommy's going to be taking care of the rear end of this little girl today. This is a 2002 Camaro that we're putting an LT1 into and a 6-speed manual transmission. We changed out the rear end. We have to change the brake system, so we have to pull the axles. We're going to show you a little bit of that. We want to thank you guys for coming and checking us out. We hope you subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. While you're at it, go ahead and share the link. Leave a comment. You know, it'll make our day. Well, it's been over a week. We still got mud.
Morning, everybody. Odd Rod's Garage here. First off, we need to pull the rear axles out of the Camaro. Zoop! Because the rear brake system is different than what was in there before. And this guy is a LT1 LS style rear end. So obviously it's going to be a lot stronger, but the brake system is different. So I went ahead and pulled all the brake calipers and all the hardware and everything else off the other rear end, and we're gonna go ahead and change this over today. I'm hoping that it'll all mount up. I don't think it would. I don't think it shouldn't. But one thing is, these are the V6 axles, and obviously the V8s are already in there, or still in there rather. I'm gonna take those out, and I really want to run with the V8 axles. Lord willing, that they're the same length and everything, because there's a little bit difference of the run out for the calipers and the saddles and stuff. Anyway, I'm hoping that it should go pretty straightforward. So rear end, axles out, change the brakes, put it all back together. It's kind of sloppy out here today. We've gotten a lot of rain here in Arizona. Almost a full week of rain, which is phenomenal for Arizona here. Up by my house, the creeks are running, all that. It's a good thing. Rain is a blessing, but I don't like to work in it. Anyway, let's get something done. Let's go ahead and get this rear end apart, and I'll see you in a second. Hi, how you doing? Alright, so we're underneath the Camaro now. This is the rear end that we just put in it. We need to drop the panel down, and we'll knock the axles out. Maybe that'll work. Maybe, baby. Do-do-do-dee. Anyway, I'm sure we could have worked with what was here already, but you know, why reinvent the wheel if you can avoid it? So that's what we're trying to do this morning, is trying to avoid re-engineering the wheel. I'm gonna bust all these guys loose. All right. There's onesies. So I'm not exactly sure about the fuel system on these guys. I don't know if it's the same pressure values as a V8. So we'll have to find that out. And there's some other stuff we need to do. We need to fix a blind bolt that's in the floorboard for the cross member. All kinds of stuff. And we can get this guy up here. I'm not exactly sure what this guy wants to do with this. I don't know if it's gonna be a street strip car or what. I don't know. Sometimes you kind of have to plan ahead as to what you're gonna do with whatever you're building. So I have a 50 Chrysler at home that my dad and I created. It's a pretty cool car. It's a old gasser style, but we used one of these rear ends in the car, and actually worked out pretty good. So because you guys find out that when you get into early Chrysler stuff, it can be outrageously expensive, and even after it's all said and done, it still doesn't work like you'd hope. Not that you need to know that, but there it is. Here's the last one. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and be a little clever here, because I don't feel like taking a bath in the gear oil first thing this morning. Let's go ahead and put just a couple of those in there. There's that. And we'll go and pop this guy off here, maybe. It's being obstinate. No, no, don't take me off. Oh, gear oil looks good. Looks brand new. Alright. Let that drain for a second. PU. You know, I like gear lube. It's yuckos. Alright, come here, you. Alright, what we got? Just gonna put that over there. So this right here is what makes it a posi. That keeps pressure in there. So what we need to do is we need to try to roll this over and not get my fingers caught up in there. Okay, there's the pin. Let's roll it around again. Alright, and there is our 5/16. So you take that loose and the pin will come out. Try not to rotate the rear end, because when you do that, sometimes the spiders will get they'll get off center, and then you gotta fight those a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and take the rotors off, loosen that, and pop some axles out. So hang on for a second. Okay guys, so she's almost out. And believe it or not, sometimes these will break. You can actually buy it. You can actually buy a replacement bolt for this, because just about almost all the Chevys are the same. Earlier Chevys are a little bit different. I'm talking about late 50s, stuff like that. They're set up more like a Ford, where there's a retaining flange on the outside. And just about all the Fords are like that. So now our bolt's out. Put it in there. And now, let's try to rotate this a little bit. Hopefully this girl won't give me too much trouble here. I'm gonna get just to where you can get that pin out. Alright. Here's that. And now, she'll slide the axle in. And of course it's giving me trouble. Okay. Well, I really don't want to turn that, but alright. So there's your C-clip. And once the axle comes out, I'll show you where it goes. These are definitely an item you don't want to lose. Put that right there. And let's take a looky-loo. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but right there is a groove. And that's where that C-clip goes in. So you put the C-clip in, then you pull the axle out, and then the pin goes in. Let's go ahead and pull the axle out real quick. Alright. There's one axle. So you see that machined edge? That's where that C-clip goes in. It goes yerp. And then once you have the C-clip all the way on, then you pull the axle out, and it locks it into the recess that's inside the carrier. Axle looks pretty good. There's no grooves in it. If there's grooves right there, the axle will always leak. I'm going to go ahead and get the other axle out, and then I'll turn the camera back on and I'll show you. It looks like the axles are about the same diameter and everything, but again, we'll just go ahead and run with these axles because that's what came with the rear end. So the axles aren't exactly the same. The V8 axles are about 1/8 of an inch longer, but I think that's okay, because if things got really bad, we could shim the brake system out just a little bit. I don't think we're gonna have to, because the 1/8 of an inch, you know, remember the caliper floats, so I think we're okay. But I want to show you something. You see that groove right there? This is the V6 axle, so we're okay, but I want to show you that this happens on Chevys almost always on the passenger side, because that is your primary drive wheel, and there's a groove there, so that would actually leak fluid. But this guy, this is the V8 axle. We're good there. So this is V6, V8, so the V8 one's good, which is what we're going to use. So next is we're going to take these bolts off here and take this bracket off, and then this bracket goes on there. Whew. It's the same pattern. Cool. Went right on. Yay. Okay, so here it is. This is the e-brake. There's a little clip right here. It just locks on. It goes zoop. It holds the shoe on. These guys, they're both pistons. This one's adjustable here, and here's the clip. This guy has a little pin that rotates, right? So the pin side goes in here. This is the stagnant side. It doesn't have the pin on here. Anyway, you just start sliding it on there, and you gotta spread the shoe a little bit. But then there's the pistons in there, and there it is. Okay, guys. So the rear ones, the axles are back in, but I want to show you something. So, obviously, to get the axle in there, it's got the splines, right? The splines. Don't slide the axle all the way in and turn it to get it to seat, to get the gears to spline. Because if you turn this, it'll knock your spider alignment off. It's not a nightmare. It's something you can get past. But just for kicks and giggles, make sure you don't do that. Just pull the axle out, turn it a little bit, reclock it, try to stab it, clock, 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 clock until it wants to go in. That way you're not moving a bunch of stuff around in there. And hopefully nothing moved. Let's go ahead and try to get that pin back in there, and I'll see you in a second. Alright guys, so both the axles are back in. And see the relief in there? So you push the axle all the way in, put your C-clip on, and then push it back out. And it actually, the C-clip actually resides in a little pocket inside here. Now if you don't have your axles in there correctly, your pin will not go in. Alright guys, so she's all together. Got the rear cover back on, got the calipers on. The axle length actually didn't bother us all that much. She turns good. Rear end's in, it's done on both sides. Ooh, there it is.
Alright, that's the end of the rear end. We got it all taken care of. We're ready to bolt things back up. We're getting ready to drop the engine and transmission in. That'll be coming up in the next couple of weeks. And we got all of our bell housing taken care of, flywheel, not torque converter, flywheel, pressure plate, clutch disc. We got everything all lined up. We're going to be bolting things together, and we'll get this engine tranny dropped in and start putting it together. We appreciate you guys coming out and watching what we do. You get a chance, subscribe to the channel. It makes a big difference to us. Leave us a comment, give us a like, thumbs up, and share the link. And as always, thanks for watching.